Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. And today we're doing an unboxing and rambling of the Isofarian Guard. Now, I do have my coffee, I do have my knife, I don't have the box in front of me because, well, this has already been filmed for the Isofarian Guard most recent update, which you can check that out. Now, after filming that, we'll talk about more in a second, but he asked me to go ahead and upload it to my channel as well. So you're going to see me, Jesse, and Eric unboxing the Isofarian Guard from Sky Kingdom Games. Now, just a few notes. We don't talk about everything in the video, but just a few notes as far as availability, pricing, all that, because it's worth mentioning. We're talking about a box here, the size of Gloomhaven Plus. It has literally the size, it has the weight, and what we saw is smaller than the final production copy because there's not enough room in the current box to put all the campaign books. So it's going to be slightly higher, a little bit more room adjusted. And the Isofarian Guard is going to be a narrative-based bag-building adventure as you go through a 1 or 2 player game. It's all it is. It's 1 or 2 players. You're going to go through a variety of campaigns, each tackling different characters in groups, and then basically building out, developing your skills, buying more skills, equipment, gear, attacking monsters, gathering their resources that they drop, gathering Lux, which is going to be the energy used to generate your character and to get more powerful and add things to your bag and, well, develop your stats and all of that. You're going to be going through all of that in what is effectively a half narrative, half combat based adventure through the kingdom of Isofar. The world of Isofar, the world of, I think it's Tenaris. There's another world it is, but either way. But anyways, we're going to go through that. Now, in that, it's worth noting, we're going to cover more in the actual unboxing, but that game currently, or on Kickstarter a while ago, was $79. And it's still available to late pledge for roughly 6 weeks, probably a little more, but I don't know the exact time frame they're going to have. They're going to try to keep it open as long as possible. But that is going to be $79 continuing in the Pledge Manager, and that's going to be your last opportunity after that. After that, it's going to, I believe it's going to go up 50%, and may go up even more. I don't know exactly how much it's going to go to, but the price on that will rise, especially if you're waiting for retail or later or from their store. So this is going to be your cheapest opportunity to go ahead and dive in on the world of Isofarian Guard. Now, this is not a review. Not in the slightest. I've played through the first 2-3 hours of the game, but I don't feel confident giving a review just yet. I can tell you confidently that I'm enjoying myself, but enjoying myself does have a range, and we'll have to see where that goes. But because it is a box the size of Gloomhaven Plus, and because the price is going to be going up 50%, I wanted to call that out to you as your last opportunity to jump in on a world that I can confidently say I'm enjoying, but where I actually end up in the Isofarian Guard is an entirely different story. In any case, we're going to go ahead to the unboxing. I hope you enjoy, and have a good one.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You got it.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Are we ready to go right now?
Oh, we're ready to go.
We're ready to go.
We're already in our camera voice.
He's just hoping we're going to leave all this in.
Yeah.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Okay.
All right. Hey, this is Eric with Sky Kingdom Games, and this is not what I expected to do this morning, but here I am with this guy.
Yeah.
And this guy.
Yeah. And this guy, apparently, because he's bigger than all of us.
I'm Jesse Anders from Quack and Co. No, that's not right.
No, Quackalope.
Yeah.
Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. Quack and Co. isn't really a thing unless you search for it.
Yeah, that's true. We are, well, there's a crying baby. Should we keep that in, or
yeah, why
we're
not?
going to keep moving forward? We're here in Board Game Co. studio, forcing you to get on camera with us.
Yes, and I'm happy about it.
So I'm
excited.
You just drove down because this is the first time I think your audience is seeing Isofarian Guard.
It is. This is the first sample copy of the Isofarian Guard, the first prototype that we've got from the factory, and we are extremely excited to show it off and what's inside the box.
Now, is the stuff inside here like resin, or what's the miniature quality?
The miniature quality, there's actually no miniatures in this box.
Oh. There's no miniatures in this box.
They're actually across the room.
Oh,
but there's a whole bunch of other things in the box, like cards and plastic and chips and.
The only reason I ask is because I may or may not have already broken some miniatures today, and I'd like to know what I'm working with.
I didn't really want to put you on the spot.
Oh no, put me on the spot. Put me on the spot. But anyways, let's go ahead and do this thing.
Let's take the lid off and see what's inside.
So maybe up to the top shot over there.
All right. If we can get the lid off.
Now, by the way, if you're curious why we're here opening up a game, why he decided to drive down to have us do it, it's not because we're beautiful. It is actually because Alex and I are going to be producing some gameplay content. We wanted a chance to show this off. And so you're down here playing with us, teaching us kind of where the game is, letting us know what we're not allowed to spoil yet, because there's a lot of story elements here that we're not allowed to get into.
There's a ton.
Until you get the game into your hands. And you're going to be leaving this with us for a little bit.
I am. I'm going to let you guys dive into the first campaign of the game and see what the game's all about, all the mechanics, check it out. and hear the audio from Foreteller from this story, because that's really the special part.
Now,
about
you say
this.
first campaign of the game. How many campaigns are there in the game?
So there's actually 5 campaigns.
Okay.
So you're going to control 2 of the Isofarian Guards in each one of those campaigns.
Sure.
There's going to be 4 main campaigns, and then the 5th one is more of a finale for the story, where all the guards come together, and you can choose who you control for that last part.
Okay, let's go ahead and start pulling things out. We have some nice bags here on the top.
These are gusseted bags. These are going to be the components that hold the weighted chips.
Now, you
for
may
your
want to actually
characters.
pull that a bit close to you, because my camera is on manual focus, which means it's probably pulling focus on the giant behemoth of a box.
Okay, so I'll actually pull this off to the side a little bit then. What are these books that we're getting here?
So this is the campaign book for campaign 1.
Okay.
This is going to take the players through the story.
Does that
We
mean
do-
there's 5 things the size of this?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, this is going to take a little while. We do have to read through all the flavor text, but that's okay. A cold wind bites into your face as you stare across the killing field. It makes your eyes water and then freeze, covering your eyelashes in tiny icicles. You think I'm joking. I'm going to keep going.
Yeah, we could actually
You close
listen
your
to
eyes
Foreteller.
to melt the ice, so you... What?
We could. We
You
can.
don't want me reading
I
it
mean,
out loud
we can
for-
absolutely have you read through the book here. I mean,
mean,
I know my community would
What
love.
if
would love
I
to
just
hear
go
this.
for chapter 3.4 victory? What
Hey,
if I
spoilers,
just dig
spoilers.
into that?
Hey,
That's good,
spoilers,
too.
Spoilers.
You managed to subdue the 2. Well, it's
Like,
a victory. Of
I'm
course,
shocked.
you subdue
I'm
something.
shocked.
Yes.
Hey, Justin, you just occupy yourself with the blacksmith book.
Okay, so
So what is this blacksmith book?
yeah, what's going on
So,
here?
a couple different books here. We've got the campaign book. We've got a quests and index book. So you're going to reference this for, like, the enemies that you're fighting, side quests, things that you're going to need to reference and record when you're done playing the game. Skill trees for your
Yep.
characters and unlocks.
How do you said record? How do you
Yes.
track progress in this?
So there's 2 different ways you can track. You can actually use the book and write in the book itself, or you can print this tracking sheet out and write on it if you don't want to actually mark the book up itself.
Okay, and so interesting. So I'm just trying to think this through. So you can write in the book itself, but
Yep.
you have 5 campaigns. Does
Yes.
the book go through all 5 campaigns? How does it play
Yes,
out?
so this quest and index book has the content for all the campaigns here. So you can see here, the first one's Grigory, this is campaign 1. The next page is going to be Alec, also campaign 1. There's 2 guards.
Cool.
And then right on the next page, campaign 2.
Got it.
So, and then this is in sections for the skill trees, for saving your game.
Now,
all
not to put
different
you on the
sections in
spot,
there.
but can people buy another one of these if they want?
We're going to have the printable sheets for everything in this book on our website, and yes, we will probably have the option for replaceable books as well.
Cool, because it's one of those things, it's one of those fun balances where I tend to just use the printout sheet, but for something this nice, I
Yes.
kind of just want to use the book. But I also want to be able to like either sell it or replay it
Sure.
when I'm done and have a full resettable game.
This is a game you're going to spend a lot of time with.
Oh, when I say sell it, I mean when I'm like 72.
Yeah, right.
So this is regional blacksmiths, right? Different marketplaces that you're coming
Exactly
across
right.
as you're playing through the game, which I love marketplaces. I love the different items and gear that you can get from every location. So you handed me this, and I started opening it up, and I'm immediately getting excited.
I handed it to
by
you
the
for excited.
different by the different.
I knew what I
options
was
that we
doing.
have.
I wasn't just trying
Yep.
to distract you. That was a bonus.
Yeah, we're really excited about the crafting system. Every city has its own unique set of weapons, armor, accessories, items.
Now, is it straight purchasing, or what's the process to be able to get your hands on some of this gear?
So you're going to be doing a lot of battling out in the field, and anytime you defeat an enemy, it's going to drop a piece of it
Yep.
on the ground. You're going to pick those things up, and you're going to take those things to these blacksmiths,
Yep.
and then you're going to craft
you'll start
those
crafting
things.
them into
Yeah.
what you're looking
So you
for.
actually can't go to a shop and say, "I want this incredible piece of armor." You actually have to get the pieces first.
Before we show all of these, anything spoilerific about these?
No spoilers. These are all just maps, and you'll notice that these are all like close-in maps of unique locations of Isofar.
I'm just going to show this to Jesse because I want him to be excited about this.
Ooh, does it punch out?
It
and
does.
flip and upgrade?
So a big part of Isofarian Guard is city
Can I
building.
play with it?
You can absolutely take the pieces out. It's a puzzle.
Nice. So this is how you're going to be actually developing the
The fort
area. Yeah, the area that you're.
Yep.
Do new areas slot into there? Like, is
So-
that how you upgrade?
So yeah, when you start the game, none of these pieces are going to
Yeah.
be in here.
Okay.
This is
You can
like
see underneath
a-
you have rubble, you have burned down buildings, the
Yep.
bridge is all shattered, and as we're upgrading our little town and settlement here, you're actually slotting in these new
Yep.
locations.
And each one of these locations will unlock new mechanics and content for you to use.
Cool.
In the game.
Yeah.
It's a big sandbox.
Is this the main board that's going to have this functionality, or are there other?
Yes. No, this is the only
this here.
board.
Okay.
This is really going to be your home base
Yep.
for the game.
Now, I'm going to just show this briefly on camera, but we're really going to save this for when we do the playmat. We'll roll out the whole playmat. You'll see the full board there.
The main map.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. There is a playmat, in case that wasn't obvious from what I was saying.
Okay.
More boards.
We're getting fancy here. We've got dual-layered boards with
Yep.
nice little slots. This is going to be, I believe, our character dashboard.
This is for enemies, actually.
Enemy dashboards.
So
These
enemies,
are our character dashboards.
the
then.
AI decks and cubes. Ah, here we
These
go.
are our character dashboards then.
Oh, wow.
Yep. And these are, you can see these are in these plastic trays.
Because it's your save system, right?
This is your save system.
As you're closing down on top, you don't ever have to put your
What
cubes
I
away.
love personally is the moment where they're looking at our table and they're like looking at it. We're like, no, we got this. We fit plenty of games on this table, and now I'm like, maybe not.
We'll figure it out. We'll hold their character dashboards in our lap.
Wait, so this is the save system, so it slots
Yes.
over. That's so fascinating.
So as you have your cubes and stats, I actually remember this from the
Yes.
campaign. This
Yep.
was one of the big things that you all are highlighting.
Yes.
As you're playing through the game, you actually just close this directly on top of
Right
your
on
play
top.
experience, and you're ready to go again.
Yeah, I wanted something to where, since you're going to spend so much time with this on the table, that I'm done, I could put the lid on, I can put it in the box, I don't have to take all the cubes out, remember where everything was, I can get right back to the game.
I just want to do this for a second, because this is, I think, is a relevant point. This box is like the size of what, would you say?
It is probably 20% bigger than Gloomhaven.
It's pretty
It's
close.
about 30 pounds.
It's about 30 pounds.
And
Yeah.
how much was this on Kickstarter again?
This was $79 for the base game on Kickstarter.
79.
Yes.
I just wanted to like bring that to your attention because I'm looking at all these dual layered everything's in the box size, and 79.
Oh yeah, you're the value guy, right?
I'm just thinking.
So how many different characters do we have available to play with?
So there are 8 main guards, and then there's another character, his name is Dunamis.
Okay.
And I can't really say too much about him, but there's 9 playable.
9
characters.
So there's 8 main guards.
Yes.
Now, do you choose who you want to go with each campaign through, or it's guided?
So it is guided. So every campaign is specifically written for 2 of the campaigns. So the first campaign is going to be Grigory and Alec. Then you'll move to Catherine and Yuri, and
See,
so
I
on
love
and so on.
that as a beginning thing, because one of the things I love is I love when games have as many characters as possible. Like, I love it. When you're like, oh, new expansion, stretch goal, this, that, all that stuff, I like it. The problem I have is I inevitably don't play with them all. So I like the idea that you're like guiding the campaign experience specifically around characters.
You'll get to try every single one of them out, and they all play differently. We really try to make each campaign fresh.
I found where 10 of the pounds came from.
Okay, so we are basically too many bones combined with Gloomhaven for 79. That's where we're at.
This is the...
These
Lar-
feel like Gloomhaven.
These
they're
are all
nice-
weighted. These are all weighted
They're nice
chips.
weighted chips. Mouthfeel on these? Any determination? You tried it yet?
I have not.
I'll do
No.
it later.
Okay.
Oh.
So yeah, this is a bag builder. It's the main mechanic. So you're gonna have 240 chips included in the game.
It's a lot of chips. Oh my
It
gosh.
is.
Yeah,
It
I mean, I
is.
went through the campaign when it was first out. I remember the whole bag building aspect. I remember the map, the exploration, all that. I know you've done a ton of work. Like I've had my community asking me again and again, like, can you do an update? Can you look into it? Because they keep on putting out things and changes and addressing that,
Yes.
addressing this.
Yeah, everything about the game, I should say everything about the game, but we have really revamped the combat system, the exploration. We've really fleshed it out over the last year and a half.
This has been. We were a young channel when you all first were on Kickstarter launching, and this has been one of from the very beginning because I like giant open-ended story games, and so this has been one of the games. I think there's 2 more larger games that are story driven that we haven't had the chance to dive into, just because we were smaller at the time, and so I'm excited to actually be doing coverage of this.
Yeah,
It
I
kinda
can't wait
feels-
for you guys to
It
dive
kind of
in.
feels like a bit of a celebration for me when like the audience and myself at the very beginning were like, you need to cover this game,
Yeah.
but we wouldn't have been able to, like, there just wasn't a good way for us to do so, and now a year and a half later,
Yeah.
we're sitting here, we get a chance to play
You
it.
get to experience. You will be one of the first, really, outside of our studio to dive into the world of Isofarian Guard. So I'm excited.
So I've just been showing the art on camera.
Oh, sure.
This stuff is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, the art. Well, that's the back of the card.
That's the
Just try
back.
to flip that over there. We have the art over here, just beautiful. Like, it's vibrant.
Yeah, each one of the character ability cards is individually designed and painted.
Enjoy.
Spent
No,
a
seriously,
lot of
enjoy.
time on the art.
Now, you run an art studio or something? Like
No. So all the art is done through Caravan Studios overseas, and
Yeah.
I've worked with them with our previous title, Stonebound Saga, and they do amazing work.
Those
for
are
us,
lovely.
so.
I like the character dashboards as well. And there is no way I'm not playing Catherine.
I have a question.
Campaign 2.
I'm just saying.
Realistically, not real. Oh, interesting. Oh, got it. Okay, cool. I was why do you have them separate? Because
Yep.
you have 2 of these, and then you go through that.
Yes.
Slots
Perfect.
in.
Yes.
So we were originally going to have 9 separate character dashboards.
There's no reason to.
And that's a ton of cardboard.
Yeah.
So instead, I decided to have just 2 boards and then slot in the character bus cards instead.
Yeah.
Just to save on components
makes
because
sense.
there's a lot of components.
We just finished playing Ankh for the first time, and
Yep.
amazing game. We'll talk about it more. But one of the things that is baffling to me is they have like 30 different character dashboards when all that changes is a single ability.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a few cards there.
I'm just trying to show.
Quantity of cards, yeah.
A stack of cards here.
We've
I'm
got about-
not touching the cards because I don't know what I'm allowed to pull out and not pull out. So go through what are we going to find in these card decks here? What are we sorting?
These look like enemies.
So there's about 1,500 cards in the game, and the cards here are all, really the majority of the cards, these are the enemy AI decks.
Okay.
So every enemy in the game
Let me
has
look
a
at
deck of 8 cards that they're going to rotate through on their turns. So that's where the majority of these cards are coming from. This informs the enemy on what they're doing during combat.
Jesse wants to play.
So there's a few things, and people that are familiar with me at all, and people who are on your page that aren't familiar, like I am the biggest Kingdom Death fan, period. Just flat out. And so when I see games that are doing things that are similar to the systems that I love in KDM, it makes me intrigued and makes me excited to play
Yep.
them.
And
The question, of course, is going to be where you differentiate
Yes.
and what's kind of standing out in your A deck. But the fact that you have custom A decks for every single one of your monsters,
Yep.
that to me is a positive, because a lot of the big box, one of the things I've knocked a lot of the big boxes on so far, has been not feeling unique enough in some of those combat encounters.
Yep.
And so I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I think, I hope you'll love it. We really try to make every AI deck unique. And particularly with the AI decks is, I said there were 8 cards. There's 3 pairs of cards,
Okay.
and 2 of them are unique special cards.
Nice.
So you'll never know what's going to come up, and you'll be surprised every time you do a battle.
What's this little deck here?
These are 2x2 square cards.
These are going to be our gear.
This is your gear. This is, remember the equipment customization and crafting that you're going to do. So you're actually going to collect harvesting from trees. You're going to go mining and get ore, and you're going to collect those pieces from enemies. Those are all these cards here.
Where is Alex? Do we have the big old mat?
Big old the playmat.
The
Can we
Playmat.
pull that out?
I
Can we
pull that
actually
out.
show the main artwork?
We absolutely can. So this is the main map of Isofar, and this is the extended map for the all-in. So the normal map will cut off like right here, and the extended adds another 5 inches to the ocean area here. So nothing gameplay oriented,
Yep.
just extra art. Yeah.
Just the aesthetic, the layout.
Yep.
It would be fantastic if somehow we were able to get a hold of those miniatures. I mean, I would love to. I would love to show them off.
That
but
would be
since
amazing.
that's entirely impossible, could you walk through a little bit about how the game's going to be functioning and operating? Where are we in terms of like what content do we have
Are
ready
these
to go?
numbers story points in a campaign book? Like, what are these?
These are nodes on the map that you're going to move to. So there's an exploration phase and there's a combat phase. So when you're on the main map and exploring, you're going to move the miniature or chip from node to node. And every yellow node, you're going to pull chips from a bag to see if there's a possible encounter or if it's just an open road or nothing there. The campaign books will inform you where those events take place, where those stories. So you'll put a narrative chip on a node, and then when you get to that node, then either you'll read it from the book or you'll listen to it with Foreteller.
Yep. No, a lot has changed between it being on Kickstarter and sort of a promise of a game and developing into like an operating, entirely nearly finished game. What are some of those development things? What are you the most excited about right now? What has been some of the hardest things you've came across when finishing up the design here?
Yep. I would say, let me start with the most challenging aspect. Yep. The most challenging aspect has been the writing, and it's a huge story.
Sure.
And it was difficult to write because the writers had to write it so that it could be recorded.
Scripted
with audio,
for
with Foreteller, yeah. So it's a unique way of writing.
Yep.
Not like a standard book that you would read. So that's been a challenge. But to answer your other question, the biggest things that have changed are the combat system has been completely revamped. The way the chips work, it's not just you know, we had some comments during the Kickstarter that they said the game kind of played itself. And
Your original chip tree was like a much narrower path.
the skill trees were much, it was like one or the other.
Yeah.
And the newer skill trees, we
Wide.
have lots. Yeah, you have lots of different paths you can take. So yeah, we've really expanded.
That was the
many
first
mechanics.
branching book that you showed,
Yes,
right?
that
with
huge
all of the
thing.
different-
I think
yeah.
previously it was only 3 columns, and you went back and forth between the two. If I
Yes.
recall correctly, yeah.
Yeah, you've got 3 different paths, but you can actually go multiple different paths.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I do have some of these magical miniatures that are hard
He
to get
doesn't.
hold of. This can be Gregory and Alec.
Let's not let you touch them anymore.
So
So these,
I may or may not have broken these before. I asked
so
questions
these,
for a reason.
these right now are going to be what you call red wax.
These are just samples of the miniatures.
Yeah.
These are red wax miniatures.
So miniatures go through a series of prototyping stages. First, you're going to have your resin kind of 3D printed. They're usually rough sketches. Then you get down to either a high quality resin, or maybe this is actually a resin, but you call it red wax.
This is a red wax,
which is specifically going to be one of your most detailed prints. You're able to get it in. You're able to fine tune some of the specifics, see where you might be losing quality for the mass production, and then also do full painted samples. And then you're going to be going into, is it just PVC is the final product?
The
or
final will be a mixture of plastic.
what people are familiar with. So our jokes about Sender breaking one has entirely to do with the type of material this is made out of right now. These are one-off specific resin samples, or wax samples, I suppose.
Yep.
When you get your game in, of course, it's going to be what you're used to when it comes to big box miniature games.
Yep. These are a little bit more unique to design as well, because as you can see, there's 2 characters on a base.
Which I really like.
Yeah, they're a little different. They're a little interesting to paint, but they look incredible once they are done.
Well, you're spoiling me because I don't know how I'm ever going to go to like unpainted miniatures when I have this quality in my house right now. I mean, they're absolutely gorgeous.
You can
Yeah, I
certainly do,
really
like, a sun
appreciate
drop
you
on
bringing them to just leave with us forever and never have back.
And they're like so. I mean, I absolutely love the idea of tying the story to the characters, because I've seen it done in different aspects. One of the things I love is when a game's like, and if so-and-so's in your party, do this. It feels like your characters actually matter to the story.
Yep.
So by forcing the players through that choice, it allows for the personalities to develop.
So
It does.
I know you've been really communicative with your backers and audience that have been following along. You do a monthly update and pledge. So part of the point of this video is to open this up, show people who have been anticipating sort of the big box opening up.
Yes.
And also try to put questions and figure out, where we are. But based on what you've already communicated with your audience, which we're actually not familiar with, we haven't sat down and read every single one of your updates.
Sure.
What aren't people familiar with right now? Let's give some details that we could actually pull out and zoom in on that your audience hasn't seen.
Really, I mean, most of what we've shown on camera, they haven't really seen up close. It's been quite a while since we've done more of a in-depth gameplay video, which are going to come now that we have these samples. We've been really waiting to get our hands on these samples. We've actually waited. I know you guys have been waiting on shipping charges. We've been waiting to give and charge shipping because we didn't really know exactly what the final size of the game would be, what the weight of the game would be.
Large.
And now we know. And now we know.
And you're scaling up from this?
So yeah, so
larger than that?
it's gonna be a little bigger than this box. So this is everything from campaign 1, but there's 5 campaigns. So I think we're gonna have to go a little taller than this box.
Because you're going to have the 5 full campaign books, which is going to have a little bit of depth. And
Oh, that's
also
right. You only
now,
gave me 1 campaign book. I didn't realize.
But it's gonna fit. We are gonna fit in a calyx
Calyx
cube,
shelf.
but
Yeah.
pretty much the whole cube.
you just fill a cube.
Yeah,
I love
just the
how,
whole
like,
cube will be Isofarian.
We have all these conversations about games becoming too expensive, too large, too bloated, and we're like, no. There's an upper limit. The size of a calyx cubby is basically where gaming stops. Or except 2 calyx cubbies if you split it up, like Oathsworn into 3 calyx cubbies. Yeah, like all these games.
Or
yeah.
7 like Zombicide.
7 like Zombicide,
Never mind.
yeah.
Apparently that's not the limit.
Yeah,
So-
so it's got a little bit.
We're going to be showing off gameplay. We're going to be diving into, so people are going to be able to see more details, specifics, everything like that. But for the people who have made it to the end here, I mean, they are, period, your biggest fans.
Absolutely.
So, what do you want to say to them? What do you want to share with them? Anything we should pull out and just zoom in to give them an extra special look at?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've done a great job going over the components. I just want to thank you guys for your support over the months. I hope that you're thrilled at what you're seeing here. We are incredibly excited at these samples. We are extremely looking forward to letting you guys see what the final product plays like.
Yeah.
That hearing the story with Foreteller, particularly hearing the music, we can't wait for you guys to hear that too as well.
Stonebound. I just remember I remember the app really pulled me in. From I remember watching the original campaign. It was easily the best Foreteller experience I've had from the ones I've gone through. And Foreteller ranges. Sometimes it's just narrative.
Sure.
Sometimes it has a little bit of music and then tapers off as you go through it. Your introductory clips were riveting.
I think what makes it unique is what I had said before, is the story was written for actors. It's not like you're reading it like this happened to this person, is you're hearing that actor actually say their line.
And because you were working with Foreteller from the very beginning, you were customizing all of your narration, all of your audio, which arguably from me, so actually, if you ever read Ender's Game, or that Ender's Game Chronicles, the author of that book series actually wrote 4 screenplays for the majority of his career until he started doing published books. I love the audiobooks of that, because he has a very, very vocalized way of writing. And it also makes for me a really pleasant way of reading, because I usually read by vocalizing, and people see it on camera all the time. I love reading things out loud. And so when it's written for the purpose of being read, it is different from when it's written for the purpose of being read. I got there. It's the same.
I think the other thing too is, one thing that we wanted to do is, I'm a musician.
Sure.
And music's extremely important in gaming experiences for me, and I think for a lot of people. So one thing I wanted to do with this game is have the music specifically composed to the scene, so it ebbs and flows with the emotion and with what's going on, instead of just using cookie cutter, generic, RPG music in the back. So I think people will really appreciate that as well, and they'll hear that with Foreteller.
Cool.
And we're also going to have music outside of Foreteller for like background stuff. So I don't even think that we've actually even talked about that too much, but we're going to have like exploration themes.
Ambient things.
We're going to have like boss themes. Awesome. So when you're going against a boss, there'll be a theme that's specifically written for that boss. That
Do you have those like already?
I have those ready. We haven't shown any of that.
What if I happen to like slightly underlay this into this video?
That would be something pretty cool.
Maybe there's been a theme going the whole video, and now you know why. We'll find out.
Surprise.
Either way, this is an unboxing. Honestly, here's the strategy for the unboxing. You just showed up. This was the first thing we did. We haven't had a chance to sit down and play through and really talk about the changes and where this is. Alex and I are familiar up to the point of the campaign.
Well, the campaign, I followed some updates past it to a degree. I have not been watching every single thing after that, but yeah.
And so we are excited to dive in, but we wanted to get a chance to open this up, see it on camera, share it with you. Now we're going to swing into some off-camera gameplay.
Yes.
And then the plan is for us to both have at least one gameplay video on each of our channels, along with preview, talking about it, stuff like that, and then follow up as we're getting closer to production and delivery. Now, we were talking about that a little bit. The world has been in a state of chaos.
Yes.
Which hasn't helped.
No.
So what are we looking at right now in terms of, and logistics and timelines? I think your audience understands this. I think we understand this. Logistics and timelines are always a bit flexible because there's so many things from the point that you hit play that are out of your control. Shipping closures, something getting stuck in the Suez Canal, factories being closed down with Chinese manufacturing. And I'm not making excuses or compromises for you.
Absolutely.
My argument is trying to give people as much context as possible for why things are sometimes outside of a publisher's hands once you hit play. So where are we? And what can people expect?
I think you guys have all seen the timeline. We've updated it every month on where we're at. We are looking to finish out the writing and the development of the game just in the next couple months. And we're going to be going to print at the end of this year. And hopefully, as long as there's no more road bumps, we're going to be delivering Q1 of next year.
Cool.
That's the plan. That's the plan.
Very cool. Very cool. So that's the aim. They are at the point where we are playing a prototype that is at the point of finish.
Yes.
And so you're going to be hitting print soon and getting it into backers' hands. So thank you for following along. If you're excited to see the extra content...
Are you closing off his video?
Thank you for following along. If you're excited to see the extra content, swing over to Board Game Co. or swing over to Crackalope. Honestly, you only really need to follow one of us. So,
there's going to be content on both. We'll talk about it. We'll link to each other's videos. We'll do the stuff. The usual stuff. The YouTube stuff.
Either way. Anything you want to say to your supporters and community?
No. Thanks again for watching. We appreciate your support and support these guys. They're incredible.
We'll see you next time.